If you're looking to get yourself some brand new games, Xbox Live membership or more, you can check out g2a.com. Link is in the description below. Using that link helps out the channel, and you can also use the code JAY for 3% off your first purchase. Hey there guys, how's it going? Thanks for checking out this video. Obviously more ARK PvP on the center map playing the PS4 Pro. So I've been reading through all your comments, guys. Thanks for all the support in leaving comments and likes and all that stuff. We keep smashing over 500, which is an awesome target. If you guys want to smash that like button, trying to hit that again today, of course that'd be muchly appreciated. But looking through these comments, I seem to get the impression that you guys just want me to go super hard on the PvP, and then if it all goes wrong, if we get wiped, then go to the PvE. You know, PvE is always there as a backup. There's loads of adventures and things to do in PvE, but why not make the most of PvP while we're still going strong? Now, I do have one member in my tribe now. Unfortunately, they've been away for the last few days, so it's mainly just me. My other teammate has been helping me a little bit, so we're really getting to the point now where I'm starting to really notice some of the tribes that have big numbers in are able to farm a lot more and get a lot more things done. But I'm still going with it. I'm playing smart, and by me kind of handicapping myself a little bit by not having a huge tribe, maybe it will give you guys some tips for how you can work on either solo PvP, or if you do have a huge tribe, use these tips plus whatever else to help you get the most out of your experience. But anyway, we're going to start off here. I'm not actually playing while I'm actually doing this commentary. This is just some footage I got that I'm talking over afterwards, and what you see me doing here is going to the underworld on the center. I'll show you guys how to get to the underworld in another video if you'd like me to show you. It's really not that difficult, but I'm sure a lot of you know by now if you're playing the center how to get here. I actually came down here to see if there was any pearls around. Pearls are quite a valuable resource, especially when you get into the higher levels, because you use them to make electronics, and electronics are used in auto turrets, and a lot of turrets are needed once you're at the high end of the game, because you need to defend your base while you're not there. However, while I was down there, I saw another little base. Now, these guys might not know, I think it's 6 times damage if you build down here, so it's not really a smart place to build anything. Probably just a good place to go and farm a few materials and just explore just for the fun of it. Now, again, these guys had made a massive mistake by leaving the roof open. The thing wasn't even enclosed, let alone, obviously, is it stone, and there's no auto turrets, which are, you know, two things which I can understand when it's early game. You're in a rush, you haven't got time to put up plant species, and you haven't got time to rank up to get metal and whatever. But guys, at least seal off your base. Now, these newbie mistakes, I have to admit, are getting rarer and rarer as I'm exploring the server these days. Every time I log on, I'm noticing, these guys seem to have a slightly better base than what I've seen around. So I think, I don't know, either a lot of you guys are PS4 and you're starting to learn a lot more about how you should make your bases, or maybe people are just learning as they go along. Either way, it's getting a little bit more interesting and a little bit more competitive, although we are still seeing a lot of bases with these kinds of simple mistakes. And these guys even had shotguns. They had time to make guns, they had time to make pistols, had time to make all kinds of decent things, but they didn't have time to at least make a ceiling, so their base was completely sealed. I don't know what these guys are thinking. So anyway, this actually wasn't bad at all, considering I didn't have to spend barely any time here. I just had to barrel in, managed to get some okay stuff, but that's not really the focus of this video. There is a much bigger story to be told, and it all starts off with us looking at one of the biggest tribes on the server. Now, you quite often get this on PvP servers. You'll get a lot of people who want to be friends with everyone. Now, this sounds like a great idea. Let's be friends with everyone will protect us, bloody blah, and we'll just be a huge tribe, and we'll be able to defend against anyone. Now, this sounds great, but there are downsides to it, guys. The more people that are in a tribe or in your alliance, that's more people who you might not know, you might not talk to, and the more people who might, you know, backstab you, inside you, do silly things, do things that just leave your base really vulnerable and all that kind of stuff. So it may sound like a good idea, guys, but personally, from my experience, I try not to do that. However, on this server, as on many servers, there is a big alliance of, I guess maybe they're people who are either new or they just feel like it is a little bit safer to have that backup of other people. Now, this all started off as I saw someone on a pteranodon near a base. I managed to get the pick on them, and I managed to get the kill. However, once I got back on my pteranodon to look around, I noticed that there was a huge kind of almost small village base area built up that I hadn't noticed previously, that really looked like it had a lot of work put into it. Now, looking at this area, I can see these guys have... It's a really strange tactic here. I guess they're pretty new, but at least they are trying at the game, because they've got quite a few different tames. I even saw a Tapahara tame, which I have not seen actually at all yet on official servers. They had one of those. They had a Bronto, which must have taken them a long time. They had some metal. They had plant species down. So we're starting to really get into more of the high-end spec stuff here. So the plan was really just to mess about, maybe get a few kills, get a bit of gear, maybe set them back a bit, get a few of the tames down and all of that. But we ended up spending quite a while here. So what I'll let you do is I'll let you watch a little bit of the beginning PvP, just taking some pot shots and having a little bit of fun. Now, once we'd had a little bit of fun with these guys, you know, just taking some sniper shots, practicing some sniping and getting the odd kill, I wanted to take a little bit of a closer look at this base that had some metal surrounding it. I thought, I wonder what could be in here. I wonder how much these guys have built up. And to my surprise, they had wood on the second level, and wood just takes no time at all to smash through with metal tools. Now, obviously, these guys are online. There's quite a lot of them, so we're having to be quite cautious here, watch each other's back, make sure they're not sneaking up on us, but damn, was it worth it. We took the risk here, managed to barrel inside once I broke in there, and there was so much stuff in here. This again is a classic case scenario that I hope you guys will learn from, although I'm sure most of you know this, is that you really should focus on making what you've got secure before you really expand on what you've got. Like, weigh up what the amount of work that's gone into what you've got compared to how much work you've put into securing your base, and how difficult it would be to someone to get into your base in its current state. And with these guys, although they had the old plant species up, there's a few of them online, I think they just must have got overconfident because they were in a big group, because they probably thought they'd all protect each other. They thought, you know, we don't need to work that hard on making it secure. We'll do it as we go. But it's just not like that, guys, because guys like me, and if it's not me, it's someone else, will be very aggressive on these servers. That's just how they play. So we just broke in through the back there, and once we were in, to be fair, because me and my friend Colossus here, we're quite experienced players, we're quite confident now, because we're just thinking about the options they've got here. Now, something that they could do, but if they'd pre-planned for it, that might work quite well, is throw a narc grenade in here. That would basically wipe out our threat. And if you do actually find yourself in this kind of scenario and you've got narc grenades, that's something you can do. People in your base, you don't know, you haven't got weapons to go in there, if you've hidden a couple of narc grenades around, that's a decent idea. But we know we've got good melee, we've got our pteranodons with us as well, we're watching each other's back. So to be honest, we just started going at it. We just started checking all the boxes. We found fabricated pistols, we found all kinds of prime meat jerky and eggs and loads of weapons and blueprints that we just weren't expecting. So why not make the most of this while we can? We took a load of this stuff and it just worked out really well for us. So this one was going really well. However, what happened next kind of put the, kind of made us a little bit more worried. Now, I don't actually have the footage for this next little thing that I'm going to talk about, but I need to actually explain what happened so you get a much better idea of the story and what's going on. Now, while we were over at our base, we actually started hearing some gunshots outside, back home at our base on the southern island. And I said to Colossus, I said, can you hear something being hurt? And all of a sudden, our pteranodons were being shot at. So we thought, oh my word, we're actually being attacked. Then we started to hear the tinkle tinkle of grenades. People were grenading into our base. And we were like, oh my word, this is actually a proper raid. People with explosives. We've got so much gear in here right now because we've just done loads of raids. What are we going to do? So our first thoughts were, we need to move. pronto. But obviously that was in the back of our mind, because first thing we need to do is we needed to deal with these people. So what we did is we got on the Argent, we got on the Pteranodon. I think there was 3 of them overall, and like I said, I'm really sorry I don't have this footage. I think it's like the only thing that I've missed. There was 3 of them overall. They managed to kill our Argent because I actually picked one of them up. I went to carry them into our turrets, but they managed to kill the Argent before I did that. Looking back in hindsight, none of these guys were carrying parachutes, so all I needed to do was pick and drop him, which I didn't actually do. However, anyway, they still had their Pteranodon, they still had 2 good members. We just had a little bit of a PvP fight with them at our base. They didn't seem to bring enough grenades to break in, which I thought was kind of weird. And we had a fight with them. We bowled their Pteranodon, we pushed them off the cliffs, and we managed to get the kills. We did lose our Argent, but everything else was completely kept. But we hadn't seen these guys before. These guys were brand new. They were called archaeologists, I think, or arc something. I think they were called archaeologists. We hadn't seen these guys before. They were all high level. They had a 250 Pteranodon. So this is a team that was serious business that we just hadn't even considered. So it goes to show you, you never know who is building up. So obviously this was a fair warning. First thing we thought is this place isn't really that secure. We need to find a new place that is harder for people to find us. So what we decided to do is we went over to the Redwood and we thought, you know, let's just start up a little mining shack in the Redwood, just a little bit away from things. And as we were over where, we actually saw these guys flying their Quetzal around. Now I attacked the Quetzal. I lost it after a little while. I attacked it, but then I thought, I saw this Quetzal was going over to the far corner of the Redwood. I wonder if that's where these guys are based. And what do you know? I looked a little bit further in and I found their base over in the Redwood. Now, you are going to see their base in a second, so just bear with me. You are going to see us trying to raid it and all of that. But we thought, wow, we're going to have to see what's going on here. We went to their base. There was loads of them there. They built some metal with some plant species. And these guys seemed like serious business. They had big plans. So we didn't really have that much to fight them with, but we thought, well, let's see how quickly we can make some RPGs, some rockets, and then let's go in there, just fire them away, see if we can do some damage to this base and potentially wipe them. The ironic thing being that if they hadn't attacked us in the first place, we wouldn't have come over here and we probably wouldn't have ever found their base. So we grinded it out, made everything as quick as we can in this new makeshift little mining shack, and then just went at it. So considering the level these guys were and all the metal building that they had, this was actually a surprisingly easy raid. And oh my word, out of all of the raids I've ever done in Ark, I think this one has to go under the most loot to effort to what went into the raid ratio. I mean, all we did was bring 2 RPGs with rockets and we didn't even use all of those, and we managed to break in, take down the plant species with some nice shooting and break in there. Now obviously they weren't expecting this. As soon as there was a hole in the base, we just started barrel rolling in. They just had no answer to it. We started piking them on whatever. Now that's all well and good. We thought, wow, this was quite easy to get into. Let's see what's inside here. And their base had so many good things inside. We were just so surprised. I mean, the crowning glory of all of this was that they had 100 pre-made metal walls. So these guys obviously had huge plans for what they were going to do, and I cannot believe they had so much stuff in there. Unbelievable amounts of narcotics. They had the apprentice long neck blueprint that they had actually used against us a little bit earlier. It was absolutely insane, and another classic case of you should never put more in your base than you've got really things to defend it with. This was just way too easy to break into considering what they had. If you start to get really good stuff, guys, secure it, because it won't last long. If someone wants to come at you like we did here, and to be honest, this is the first time actually that we didn't antagonize them. They antagonized us and then we went at them, and we just managed to blow them out of the water super quick. So normally I would just only take some light things, and I would only take things that like blueprints and so on, but considering these guys had 100 metal walls along with thousands and thousands of narcotics and all of that, we actually thought, you know what, we're going to take our time. This is our base now. We destroyed their beds, we killed them, and this is a very hard area to get to if you don't have a bed. So we thought we're just going to set up here, we're going to take what we want, and we're going to take our time. So we actually took everything that we wanted out over here. All of those metal walls, all of the metal we wanted, all of the blueprints of the narcotics. So this was absolutely ridiculous, and I have to say actually, this goes to show me that there were some people on this server that were way more advanced than I thought. Bear in mind, some of these guys were over level 70, so there's no excuse not to have auto turrets. Once you've got auto turrets unlocked, you should be thinking about making them. So really, these guys should have had auto turrets, and considering how many people they had and all of this, I'm very much surprised, and I'm glad they actually tried to have a go at us, because if they hadn't, we wouldn't have wiped them at this stage. And considering they had 6 or 7 members at least, they could have really been a massive threat to us, and a very hard base to raid in the end. But this is why I tend to go so aggressive, because you really want to nip this kind of activity in the bud. You really want to get it before it grows into something that is going to be super hard for you to battle against. So yeah, this was super cool. Another cool thing actually, well, we kind of got lucky, is that I found a few hours later, these guys actually had a huge base being built up somewhere else. I'm not going to say where, because I don't really want to talk about locations too much, because now a lot of people on this server know who I am and they're trying to find us. So you have to bear in mind, I can't show you everything, and sometimes I might throw a little few things your way that you aren't expecting. But yeah, these guys had huge plans. There was another huge base that they were building. It was just a shell, but that's why they had all of this, because they were trying to turn that into a huge base. So we took these down. We are probably the most aggressive people on the server. We are on borrowed time, but I think you guys want to see that. You want to see that excitement. You know, it all goes wrong, we'll just go on another server, or we'll go play PvE or whatever. But I know you guys want to see these raids. You want to see us get into these places. You want to see how we get into them. You want to see the easiest method to, and more importantly, I think, is that you guys learn from these raids how you can avoid being raided in such a way. So I hope you guys find these videos useful, interesting and fun to watch. I don't actually really like doing this style. I prefer to do the live commentary style while I'm playing, so I'll try and get back to that for tomorrow's video. But otherwise, guys, it's been great fun making this series so far. Thanks for all the support. Don't forget to smash that like button if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time.